Hey everybody, it's Dr. Bruce Gilroy here with Health Source Chiropractic in Atascocita, Texas. Great to see you guys this morning virtually this way, and I hope you guys are having an awesome week this week. It is really starting to feel like springtime here in the Houston area. Gorgeous day out there right now, and we should have a nice weekend coming up, so it's time to take advantage of all this great weather and make sure we're getting more active and getting outside and getting fresh air and sunshine, and especially as cooped up as we've been through a pretty long winter for Houston, Texas, including a week-long freeze, and with pandemic stuff, etc. Things are looking better on that horizon overall right now. A few little question marks still out there, but get outside and let's start getting outside and enjoying good, solid, fresh air. And when you're outside, if you feel like you got to walk around with masks in stores and things like that, if you're going in stores and you're still wearing masks and that kind of thing, great, more power to you. But when you're outside, take that mask off. The best thing in the world for you is to get fresh air. So take the mask off. The chances of you getting COVID while you're outside exercising are so infinitesimal that it doesn't even warrant wearing that mask out there. Get some fresh air, folks. It's so stinking good for you. So make sure you do that. I want to talk today about something that I had to deal with a couple of different times this week with patients. And it's something that's near and dear to my heart because, to be very brutally honest with you, I had this same problem 15 years ago. And the problem is anxiety. Let's be straight here from the beginning. 15, 16 years ago, not only did I have anxiety issues, I had full-on panic attacks occurring in my life. And if you don't know what a panic attack is, don't judge people for that, because I didn't either until all of a sudden I began to find myself having my heart rate jump up to about 120 to 130 beats a minute for no apparent reason for 5 to 10 minutes at a time. And feeling very jittery when that was going on. And I wasn't scared. That was the weird thing. When it was going on, I'm like, well, I'm not freaked out about anything right now, so it's not like I'm panicking because something's happening, but something was going on inside of me physiologically that was creating anxiety and was creating panic attacks. I had such odd symptoms occurring in my head that I ordered an MRI on my brain. And so I went and got the MRI done, and they didn't find anything. Well, they did find my brain, but they did not find anything wrong, which obviously was great. But there was a day where I was feeling very funky with this anxiety sort of feeling, and I still didn't quite know what it was. And I decided, as I was laying on my bed feeling funky, I decided, you know what, the heck with this. I got angry, and I got off my bed and I walked over to my treadmill and I cranked the incline on the treadmill up significantly. And I just started walking hard on that incline, and started sweating, and my shirt was soaked with sweat. And 45 minutes later, I got off the treadmill and I was like, well, I feel completely and totally different right now. And the reason I did was because I had done some hard physical exercise. And that's when I began to make this connection with anxiety and solutions to anxiety. So twice, or maybe even 3 times this week, 3 times definitely in the last 2 weeks, I've had patients come into me with real anxiety problems. One of the patients is a female, and she was so nervous about getting her very first adjustment. She literally had tears in her eyes before I ever put my hands on her. And her mom said she deals with anxiety quite a bit. And so I said, okay, well, let's have that conversation with them. And I told them about my 3-pronged approach to battling anxiety. And one of them, as you can imagine, is good, hard physical exercise that makes you sweat. All right, now part of the problem with not getting enough exercise, or part of the reason we don't get enough exercise, is even if you're an athlete, and this young lady is actually a high school athlete, so she practices every day for a couple of hours and gets some exercise that way. She's pretty fit. But as with many people in our culture these days, we spend the rest of our days sitting on our backsides at work or at home. Her mom says she's a gamer, and they just sit around and they do nothing but stare at screens, scrolling through social media, playing games, and staring at the news, reading about coronavirus. All of those things, my friends, build up anxiety in your body. We've got to move more. You hear me talk about this all the time. Move more regularly. Move often, move well, okay? So, got to get the exercise in, and not just maybe that 1 hour of exercise, but find some ways to, one, get off of these stinking screens, okay, like I'm talking to right now. Get off of these screens and don't fill your mind with all this negative energy, all right? So get away from that and do some things. Get out and move, go enjoy. Man, you know, one of my favorite things to do on a beautiful Sunday morning I'll go for a walk, but it's not my typical fast paced walk. It's a walk where I take a cup of coffee with me and I walk around Atascocita Park over here and just watch the world wake up and take in the beauty of what I've been given and blessed with, and feel gratitude for. And that brings me to my second step also about what to do for anxiety issues. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. My friends, if you've watched me and followed me at all, you know that I talk about the importance of gratitude. It's not just something nice to do. It really significantly impacts your health from the neck up, and the rest of your health for your entire body too. And here's the best way to do it. 2 things you got to do. You got to bookend your days in gratitude, morning and evening. In the evening, the gratitude journal is what I always promote. Look at your day. Think back on the day and pick out 3 things minimally that you're grateful for, and make sure you write down those 3 things in a journal, especially if you handwrite it. It makes it more real to you. And don't forget to write down the why behind that what. I'm grateful for this because this, okay? I'm grateful for the phone call I got from my friend because I had not spoken to them in a while, and it was really awesome to catch up. And it's so good to hear the cool things happening in his life. And I was excited to hear how happy he was for me and the good things going on in my life. That was kind of a basic gratitude journal entry I had just a couple of weeks ago for me. So that why behind the what actually helps you feel that emotion of gratitude. It makes it much, much more real to you. So 3 things minimally in a gratitude journal at night, right before you go to bed. Right before you go to bed. And by the way, turn off these stupid screens at least an hour before you go to bed. At least an hour before you go to bed. Don't be scrolling and looking through all the day's bad news and the gossipy stuff and that crap. That's junk food for your mind and makes it really hard for you to get good rest. And it creates anxiety problems too. All right, the second part of that is actually in the morning. So it's kind of, you end your evening with some gratitude. You begin your day with some gratitude. When your alarm goes off, hit a snooze button. If you fall back asleep, okay, but try not to. Hit your snooze button and spend 9 minutes, because that's what the timer is set for. Why is it 9 instead of 10? I really have no clue. But set your snooze button and spend that time doing what I call think and thank. Stay in your bed and just think about the things you're grateful, been blessed with, and be grateful for them. And really just focus on that for about 10 minutes. What an amazing way to end your day. What an amazing way to begin your day. And it will help you with your anxiety problems. The last thing has to do with deep breathing. And let me tell you something. Wearing this thing all day long here at my office, especially when I'm physically active adjusting patients. This is an N95 mask, and it sticks to my face, and it sticks on there, and it makes it harder to breathe, especially when I'm being physically active. I really have to take time throughout the day to pop this mask off and take some slow, deep breaths. And twice a day, I have scheduled time for this. One is first thing in the morning, 10 to 15 minutes, some nice soft music playing in my ears, or my Alexa Echo Dot will sometimes play it for me. And I just breathe in deeply through my nose, make sure it's a belly breath and not a chest breath. And my exhalation tends to be longer and slower than my inhalation. And I just spend 10 minutes, maybe 15 doing that. I also do it in the middle of the day during my lunch break too. That slows my body down. It flips a switch in my body that separates the sympathetic nervous system versus the parasympathetic nervous system. Sympathetic is fight or flight. Parasympathetic is relaxation, healing, and rest. And it turns that parasympathetic system on. And when we're running hard-paced all day long and under stress and anxiety and possibly wearing a mask because your job, you have to do it at your job, does nothing but make you become a shallow chest breather. And you've got to flip that switch and do some deep breathing. So 3-pronged approach to dealing with anxiety is A, exercise. B, gratitude. C, deep breath. So that's 1, 2, and 3, not just A, B, and C, I guess. Anyway, please, if you have any issues with anxiety, please do that. And you know what? All those things that I just mentioned, you ought to be doing them anyway. You just ought to be. Whether you feel like you've got anxiety or not, those are things you need to do. You need to get some good, solid, intense exercise. You need to spend time in gratitude every day. These are like essential things. And you need to slow your life down and take some deep breaths and get off the stinking screens all the time. Okay? That's my message for today. Kind of a long one. I apologize for that. Hey, below you're going to see a link to our weekly healthy recipe. And so take a look at it. I don't know what it is yet because I haven't picked it out yet. I got a bunch of options. I just don't know what it is. Try it out. Use it. Guys, you know, our vision here is to influence our community or to enrich our community by inspiring wellness lifestyles. That's the whole purpose of this video and this email. Please share this with other folks. If you can do that, you're going to help me reach more people. You're going to help us impact more people, not just within our community, but even outside of our community too. So, all right, guys, I hope you all have an amazing Thursday. We're going to be in this afternoon from 2:30 until 6 seeing patients. So give us a shout at 281-852-5600. We'll get you and or your loved ones in. And lots of great stuff happening here. We're having a lot of fun. Come join us and experience the Health Source difference. We'll see you guys again soon. Take care now.